the funniest thing is they're crashing out about the fact that Russo did not win it and not Mariona did not win it. So,
Yeah.
like, there is, I mean, listen, logic has gone out of the window.
Yeah.
Can't find it anywhere. It's just gone.
Hello and welcome. You're watching All About the W, your weekly deep dive into the WSL stats, stories, and standout performances. Let's break it all down. I'm Ash, and as always, I'm joined by Kai. Hey, how you doing, Kai? How's it going?
Hey, I'm all right, hanging in there.
Yeah. I think it's just been one of those weeks. Uh, this is all about the match day where we review all the fixtures of the WSL weekend. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you're a regular, don't forget to hit that like button and comment below. All About the W Fantasy League is up and running, so make sure you join us. We'll leave a code in the description below. Let's begin all about the match day. Before we begin discussing the games in the weekend, I think on a more somber note, uh, we just want to express our condolences for the passing of Matt Beard. Kai, how have you been digesting this awful news?
Yeah, I mean it's been tough, right? It's been a tough couple of days. I was quite shaken when I saw the news, and it's. I think I've been reflecting on that for the last couple of days, and I feel like the reason why it's hit me hard at least is probably because of what a relatable guy Matt Beard seemed like. And listen, like his managerial career sort of just speaks for itself. Like everything he's done with Liverpool, took West Ham to an FA Cup final, won the league a couple of times with Liverpool, brought them back into the WSL. So, like, an incredible manager, no doubt. But I think what stood out to me in the last 2 days in terms of how people reacted to this news, players, his colleagues, staff, journalists, everybody just like focus on what a good human being he was, and everyone who's interacted with him, players saying things like how he was a brother to them, how he was a father figure, and you know, you don't hear things like that about just anybody. So this is clearly somebody who had a massive impact on everybody he interacted with, and he was beloved by everyone he interacted with. And of course, this is a big, big loss for the world of women's football because he's been there right from the start. He's been there. He started, I think, with coaching Chelsea in 2009. So that's a very, very long time. And he's somebody who was just very vocal and supportive of the women's game. Like we talk about how integral Emma Hayes has been for the women's game in England, and Matt Beard is absolutely up there. Yeah, and I think what you also remember is how much he saw the human side of things, because football can be a bit harsh, it can be a bit cutthroat. So that's, yeah, uh, really sounds like he was an absolute gem of a person. So, yeah, all the love in the world to his family, his loved ones, his friends. I hope they can find strength in themselves and each other to get through this together.
Yeah, same here. Really well said, Kai. Okay, in other more controversial news, we have the results of the Ballon d'Or. And we have some very angry Arsenal fans, I reckon. Kai Aitana Bonmati has won the Ballon d'Or. Aitana Bonmati is the Ballon d'Or winner for 24-25 season. Did you well deserved? Maybe not. Kai, I think would have very interesting thoughts on this.
Uh, I don't listen. I don't take the Ballon d'Or seriously at all. First of all, like it's more of a PR exercise than anybody else, which is kind of why I thought Russo would actually win it. Um, for me, probably the most deserving winner would have been Mariona. She finished second. Um, but I can imagine why. Like I understand. Like I was trying to figure out the logic of Aitana winning, and she is an exceptional footballer. She's probably the best footballer in the women's footballer in the world right now, right? But obviously, she didn't have a great season last season. But when you have journalists who are voting, uh, but are not really watching the matches, this is a person who's basically won the player of the tournament in the Champions League, the player of the tournament at the Euros,
That was a.
and
I'm sorry, player of the tournament at the Euros is
listen, like let me
what gets
finish.
me.
Yeah, let me finish. Like, see, on paper, she's won those two. She's won a domestic treble. Like, this is all on paper, right? Player of the tournament at the Euros, absolutely not deserved. I like Champions League, fine, whatever. I honestly just like I have wiped that entire Champions League campaign from my memory because of what happened to Chelsea. So I don't really have an opinion. But at the Euros, I don't think she deserved to win it, but she did. So based on all those facts on paper, I see why she won it, but I don't think it's deserved. I mean, honestly, I would have. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would have thought of Russo as more deserving to win it than Aitana. In my head, I thought the Ballon d'Or would finish I mean, I was hoping the Ballon d'Or would finish Mariona, Russo, and Aitana. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is, and it's listen, it's fun to watch Arsenal fans crashing out on Twitter, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the funniest thing is not even that, like, they're obviously crashing out about the fact that an Arsenal player did not win it, but the funniest thing is they're crashing out about the fact that Russo did not win it and not Mariona did not win it. So,
Yeah.
like, there is, I mean, listen, logic has gone out of the window.
Yeah.
Can't find it anywhere. It's just gone. So let's not even bother.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think if Mariona had had a slightly better Euros, it would have been a like sure shot in the bag for Mariona. I really wish that Mariona had done better in the Euros, but of course, it doesn't help that she's playing on the wing for Spain. Um,
Yeah,
Also,
but she did score in the World Cup final, like
yeah,
sorry,
that's true.
Euros final.
That's
Sorry,
true. That's true.
but I mean, yeah, she didn't have the best of Euros. Let's be real, she didn't.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I
that is.
mean, I just you know what you Kai just mentioned that Marta was 12th on that list. I think that for me was the biggest crime. I'm like, what do we live like? Are we like in living in colonial times? Is there like a dark continent in the and like the center of the world, which is
That
the
is exactly
continent?
where we're living.
Like,
Yeah.
what is this nonsense? How the hell is Marta 12th on that list?
I mean, that goal in the finals, like that, I saw that goal in the finals
Yeah.
and I was like, give her the Ballon d'Or. Like, what a
Yeah.
legend, man. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Anyway, and
Anyway.
Chloe Kelly finishing fifth and Marta finishing
Oh
12th
my
just about
god.
sums up everything that's wrong with this award.
Yeah. Anyway,
But speaking of somebody who deserved to win something, Hannah Hampton did win the Yashin Trophy,
yeah.
which I think of all the goalkeepers, she probably had the best season.
Yeah.
It was a lovely little speech from her as well. So, congratulations, Hannah Hampton.
Yes. Congratulations, Hannah Hampton. Well deserved. Good
Yeah,
Euros as well.
yeah.
Um, okay, moving on to the actual thing that we were going to talk about in this episode, which is the games.
Oh, can
Um,
I just mention one more thing?
yes.
Sorry. The Young Player Award, Vicky Lopez winning it. I am honestly, of all the awards, that is the one that I'm really mad about because I thought Linda Caicedo really deserved that one.
Oh, yeah.
Caicedo finishing second, like, like the impact Linda has on Real Madrid um, and on Colombia and her goal contributions. I think she had 18 goal contributions, something. So like through the season. So for me, in terms of the impact she's had on both those teams, and so much weight to carry on those young shoulders, and I definitely feel like she was way more deserving of that trophy as opposed to Vicky Lopez, who obviously I'm sure she has the stats to maybe back it up, but at the same time, you know, maybe I would argue that she plays in a team where scoring is also easier, if that makes sense. Like, so yeah, that's the one that's made me quite upset. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still upset over the Aitana thing, honestly. But like, we move. Um, United versus Arsenal, which
Yeah,
ended 0-0, less interesting perhaps than the Ballon d'Or.
yeah.
Um, So I'm just going to tell you what I think about this game because I have many thoughts, and you can chime in after Kai. Like I personally felt like the two teams cancelled each other out. Their opposing strengths are a perfect foil for each other. Like Arsenal are better on the ball, so they obviously had more possession at 57%. But it is very much a case of Arsenal wanting to be on the ball and United happy to let them have it. Because United's off the ball work is their biggest strength, and it is the perfect foil to Arsenal's strength on the ball. And adding security to that midfield has only made their defensive abilities stronger. And I thought, Janssen, like the experienced player that she is, slotted into that centre back role like a consummate professional. Personally, I think United will be happy with that point. But I tell you what, I'm in two minds about this because uh, I feel like United, like it's fine to be happy with that point. Arsenal's a big team. Both teams got a point each. Everyone's happy in that situation. But you're at home, and fans see you beat other teams 5-0, 5-1, whatever. Challenge for the title, and challenging for the title means you have to set up to win. Like you can't set up for ultimate Skinner ball.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a mentality problem for United also because like they set up, in my opinion, for a draw. And I think
Hmm.
Arsenal did set up to win, but Segers is still experimenting with her first 11. And I think this was just one of those games in which the experiment of starting Stina and Russo together didn't work out. And
Yeah.
this is also, I'm like equally criticizing Arsenal as I was United because it's a question of knowing your players, right? Like I feel like Stina Baxtenius has specialized in being like the ultimate super sub whose speed and playing off the shoulder is a menace to tired defenders later in the game. But by
Yeah.
starting her, you sort of render that strength ineffective. And so I feel like both managers made some decisions that I do not agree with. I don't know if they'd call them bad because it was a draw. They didn't lose or anything. But
Yeah.
personally, I would have done things a little differently.
Yeah, I think, I mean, what Slagers did, I feel like it's in hindsight, right?
Yeah,
And for me, this early on in the season, it's okay. From like a United perspective, um, like there are reasons why I think the way they set up is like excusable. In that they had a midweek game against Baran, which was, I'm sure, which was very emotionally taxing.
yeah,
Um, and United obviously are not used to playing tough midweek games a whole lot, especially this early on in the season. So I feel like I understand why they went for it. My only concern is that I don't see United winning in the reverse fixture.
right.
I feel like that's almost like a guaranteed 3 points for Arsenal. We don't know what the squad is going to look like later
Yeah,
on, but I feel like that is a concern. But from a United perspective, I feel like given their squad depth and given the fact that they played uh, a midweek game, I honestly was very impressed with their off the ball work, how defensively solid they were, because it's not easy to play a tough midweek game and then come back and play another tough game in the weekend, because and given those circumstances, I do think they played well enough. And I feel like, if I was a United fan, I'd be satisfied. Like if this was Chelsea, I would have been upset, because Chelsea are more used to playing tough midweek games and then coming back and trying to win the next WSL game in the weekend. So I think if I was a United fan, I would be pretty satisfied with that 1 point.
yeah. Fair enough. I see. I see what you're saying. I think maybe I'm a little tougher than on them, considering that they have the baggage of the Champions League. To be fair,
Yeah,
they won that game in like in one half. But yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
still they
true.
still have to play it.
I think, like I was also just quickly, like the players that I was really impressed by. I was so impressed by Anna Sandberg. I thought she
Yeah,
dealt with Olivia Smith extremely well.
yeah,
Zigiotti obviously was impressive, and honestly, I am really excited to see what Jess Park is going to offer Manchester United, because she's such a positive player. Like she just wants to move the ball forward, and like because of that, some matches she sort of left really frustrated. but I'm really excited to see. I feel like she does add a lot of value to that United team, and that's going to be exciting. But overall, I think Anna Sandberg was. I mean, I thought this was going to be a really tough challenge for her, and I thought she dealt with it quite well.
Yeah, yeah, same here. I think she was also their positive light going forward. Like, I thought that she handled both the defensive and the offensive parts of her job really well. And I've honestly been impressed with her since the start. Like that's why I think that that combination of Mallard and Sandberg on the wing together is something that, like, I know that Mallard did well centrally as well, but I just think that that through line of the two of them is just highly effective, and I think that United should keep with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to
Everton versus London City Lionesses, which finished 2-1 to London City Lionesses, picking up their first points. Uh, Isabel Goodwin scoring two very good goals in the 30th and the 58th minute, and Yuka Momiki scored a penalty in the 71st minute. Slightly unexpected result. I predicted this result, but I don't know. I was just being bold, I suppose. Tell me about this game, Ash.
so I I'm going to start with LCL because they picked up their first points. Um LCL, I did think they would be more competitive in this game than they were in the previous games, but I did not expect them to win this game. So it was a happy surprise for me. And I have to say this: Aslani on the dead ball is just magic. Like, if any sort of dead ball, if it's a corner, if it's a free kick, like if it's standing still, it's going into a dangerous area.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. And I thought that even against United, that had been their brightest spark, their set pieces and corners, because Aslani was putting them, and it was in a different dangerous area every time, and it was just like seeking out Goodwin, or seeking out like some other player who's effective. And it was like, that's really impressive to me, like the fact that with so much pinpoint precision, and in a place where it makes it easy for for the person to convert it into a goal. I just
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful skill by Aslani. um, Goodwin was also outstanding. Her movement looks good and constant. She's a constant goal threat, good hold up play, physical presence in the box. A proper traditional striker who scores you goals. And I can see why she survived the purge when all of her teammates were, I would say, replaced, but uh,
Yeah. They let go
effectively.
of 11 players.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think, London City Lionesses and Isabel Goodwin to some extent, like you're coming up from the championship, you're a young striker, you don't want your first two games to be against Arsenal and United.
yeah.
And that's what happened to them. So I feel like we're going to see like a better version of them as we go through the season. But what went wrong with Everton, Ash? It didn't seem to click at all for them.
I think with Everton, if I was okay, I'm in two minds about this as well, because if I'm being very charitable, they have a lot of transfers, and they all those transfers have to bed in. So like Vignola had a dream debut against Liverpool, but like she still hasn't figured out her best. Like the best movement and best combination play with the rest of the team. There's Ruby Mace, there's Pacheco, there's Momiki, there's all of these new transfers, and Sorensen doesn't know who his best 11 is. So he seems to be resorting to like rotation and experimentation until he gets the balance right.
Yeah.
But like that's the charitable half of my brain, maybe because I like Brian Sorensen so much. And maybe because also Everton has never had a plenitude of transfers to have this problem before. He's always
Yeah.
had to work with very little, and so we're having to see him work with very much, which is a very different sort of problem to have. But it's not an excuse against else. My issue is with this excuse is it's not a good excuse against LCL when they have a whole new team. Like,
Yeah.
you can't argue that they know their balance or they know their 11 or whatever. So uh, I think the problem for him is if he could figure out his midfield, the rest would kind of fall into place. Because like he's unable to create 11 where Mace he has been playing in the Everton, at least in the way he's using her, has been playing like a number 8 box to box with like lots of shots, like delivering into the box, like she'll deliver the ball into like the penalty box, etc., from the midfield. And I feel like maybe he hasn't figured out how Momiki in a 10 would play with her, because they seem to be right now occupying very similar places. Momiki also likes to drift a lot. So I think that maybe if he put Mace behind a little bit and had her play a traditional number six, or played like, I don't know, Hayashi behind them, and had her doing the defending, or I don't know how it would work out. But he needs to like figure that midfield balance out. Personally, I think it's time to drop Snoez. I don't think she offers that much,
Mm.
and she can always come off the bench.
Yeah, I've never really thought of Katya's noise as a 10, you
Yeah.
know. That's a very weird I don't know. I don't think of her as a super creative. Like, last season I feel like she played well. Maybe not 10. I guess she was playing a false nine alongside Kelly Gago, and I felt like that worked okay, but maybe they're still trying that out and it's not clicking as much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how he fixes that.
Yeah. And it's honestly not just the midfield. Like, I love Kelly Gargo. I think we haven't seen the best of her. And I think she has more to offer than her current outputs would suggest. But, 9 shots on target, all mostly savable. Like, I think LCL had 4 shots, but they were infinitely more effective and clear cut chances than these 9 shots straight to the goalkeeper. Like, Payne and Gargo really need to do better. Payne really needs to do better. Like, Payne cannot buy a goal. It's just really annoying. Like,
Yeah.
she does everything well. She'll run at defenders really well, and she'll carry the ball really well, and she'll be really, really fast, and like everything else. But then there's no point because she's not effective. Nobody's scared of her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's up there with the most frustrating player to watch alongside JRK,
Yeah.
because, like, similar profile, that last decision making is so bad. And I would go as far to say that Payne is even worse than JRK in front of goal. Like, she literally, I don't know, she consistently has this habit of either dragging it wide or shooting it straight at the keeper,
Yeah.
which is really, really frustrating, a very frustrating player to watch for sure.
Yeah, at least JRK scores those bangers from a distance occasionally, or like the most complicated goal you ever seen.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah.
Speaking of JRK, Chelsea versus Leicester ended 1-0.
God.
Aggie Beaver Jones scored again in the 7th minute. Uh, 3 points is. Okay, I have very mixed feelings about Chelsea's performance this year, but they have a perfect record. You've gotten the 3 points in the bag. Kai, how you feel about this one?
I mean, we've just been, like, I let the Man City game slide because it was against Man City. And a lot of people said Chelsea played really badly against Man City, which I don't agree with. But since then, it's just been dreadful. We haven't been able to play good, not even a full 90, like a good 70 minutes, Like, if you play a good 70 minutes, then you can have the game under control for the rest. You play three at the back against Leicester, that's a choice, right? And then, uh, like, you have zero control over the game. The first half performance was decent, but the second half was just absolutely dreadful. And I'm just so mad at Sonia for, like, hooking players at halftime 2 games in a row is just unacceptable. It's just not okay. Like, you've had a full summer with a settled squad. We've had like 2 or 3 players who've come in, right? That's it. So your squad is extremely settled. You've had the full summer. You've been watching your players play internationally in the different continental cups, and you come up with a back three against Leicester, and 2 games in a row you're having to sub players out at halftime, which is not due to injury but purely for tactical reasons. That is just not good. We were actually dreadful. I wouldn't have been upset if we had drawn this game. Leicester could have sneaked a goal in, and I would have been like, "Oh, completely deserved. They deserve to get that 1 point." But yeah, Leipzig had a good performance. I thought Chelsea could have scored a couple of goals. There were some really good shots from the edge of the area, and Leipzig obviously had a, like, they were very difficult saves to make. So props to her. Yeah, just overthinking. We need to stop overthinking. And Leicester, I think the most frustrating part is that Leicester were not good. Like they had two shots on target. They were pretty bad as well, So just it's I would have been okay with a 1-0 if we had created a bit more and had some control over the game, kept losing the ball, kept turning over the ball in like really stupid areas. And then your midfielders are just like running around trying to win the ball back. It's so annoying to watch. But yeah, bright spark, I think Aggie scored again. That's 3 games in a row, 3 goals. And Berman looked really good. She's very good on the ball, defensively very good in the air as well. Yeah, I was very happy to see her debut. Her performance was top notch.
Yeah, Aggie for Golden Boot, you reckon?
I don't know, man. I mean, the only thing I know is that she's probably one of the most clinical strikers in the league. It depends. It depends on how things pan out, right? Like, I mean, what happens if Sam Kerr becomes a starter, or I don't know. Whatever. It's a long season. We'll wait and see. I think she'll be up there with the top goal scorers for sure. Anyway, let's move on to yeah. Let's get this over with, Ash. Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur, finishing 5-1 to City. Our Fujino scoring in the 23rd minute, Miedema scoring in the 39th minute, Kasparai in the 43rd minute, Grace Clinton in the 80th minute, Olivia Holt scored a really nice goal in the 87th minute, and Laura Coombs topped it all off for Man City with a goal in the 95th minute. I can't remember the last time Laura Coombs scored. It was probably against Spurs. I don't know last season, but anyway, tell me about this game.
Oh God, I wrote this in a comment in a previous video, where I was like, Spurs keeping clean sheets and making me happy is like a glitch in the matrix, and it has since been repaired with a vengeance. Because this game was just one of those, I just maybe I should stop being the eternal optimist before every Spurs game and just admit that at the starting of the season that we start with a 6 point deficit and write off the City games. Like, we lose to other teams, we lose to Arsenal, we lose to Chelsea, but we lose somewhat competitively, where we lose, I mean, not last year with Chelsea, but like, you know what I mean, mostly like it's like a 1 or 2 goal difference. But like with City, it's always 5 goals, 7 goals, like it just feels like a lot every time. So I just prepare myself, I should just prepare myself for a battering. I can't even criticize any one player, because we were outclassed in every department. I can't say that if we had played that person there, if we had done this differently or that differently, maybe we wouldn't have lost by so much or whatever. They were just better than us at everything. Like, they were just better at us at football. Like, just a word on Hemp and Carolyn. I do think that Hemp has like, of course, Hemp went off with an injury and then Carolyn came in, but I also think that Carolyn through this game has proven that maybe she deserves to start over Hemp, because Hemp has had a slow start to the season, and obviously we haven't been seeing, like, there have been moments of brilliance and creativity where she put a good cross in or a good ball in. We've seen that in the first 2 games as well, but I do think Carolyn offers a slightly bit more, uh, and then maybe Hemp might have to like prove her place in the team again, uh,
Yeah.
from the bench. Like, I don't know where you stand on this. Of course, she's injured now, so now it's a fait accompli. But
Yeah, I think I mean they have their strengths, right? Like I feel like Carolyn is probably better in front of goal, but Hemp can put those like absolutely lethal crosses in. And when you have a striker like Bunny Shaw in your team, that's what you need. So I feel like honestly, with those two players, I don't think you can really go wrong, because they have very similar characteristics, yet they have different strengths. So depending on how you want to set up and what you want your forward line to be doing and how you want the movement to look like, I feel like you can go either way. But yeah, like you said, Hemp is probably going to be out for a little while, which is unfortunate. So she is an exciting player to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Now that the band-aid has been ripped off from the Spurs game, I don't think I have much more to add to that.
Who are you playing next week? I think this
I don't know.
weekend.
I will
This,
find out. You
yeah,
check.
yeah.
Till then, I will give you the list of scorers for Brighton. Brighton versus
Okay.
West Ham ended 4-1. Hayes scored in the 24th minute. Seke scored in the 36th minute. Then Asai got a penalty in the 51st minute. And then Kafaji scored in the 58th minute. And then Ollie Slager scored in the 86th minute. Uh, uh, I mean, I have been saying that West Ham have looked like dodgy since the beginning of the season. They haven't carried over the form from the previous season into this season at all. But still, I did not expect this bad of a smashing. Uh,
Yeah.
how do you reckon this game went?
This game was all Brighton. Like they dominated the game and they created a lot of like good chances. Um, they created five big chances and missed four of them, and still managed to score four goals. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't focus a whole lot live on this match because I was just like stressed out of my mind watching Chelsea play. um, we really need to sort out the time, the schedule of these matches because my God, it's annoying. But yeah, West Ham had more of the ball than I expected them to. Like, yeah, they didn't offer much to be honest. There were a couple of good players. I thought Asai, obviously, you have patches in the season where she's just carrying West Ham, and she won the most duels in the game. She scored a penalty, created three chances. I also thought Fionn Morgan, she won the penalty, and I thought she looked good when she came on at halftime. I would be surprised if she doesn't start in the next game. I feel like, we've been talking a little bit about managers not figuring out their best 11. I feel like we're seeing something similar with Rian Skinner as well. But yeah, the quality is just not been there for West Ham. On the other hand, I thought Brighton as a unit were just really good. I thought every player played their part really well. The press worked really well. Like West Ham absolutely could not cope. And, you know, uh, Kirby, Macy Simons, as well as Jankovic together. I mean, the press was just immense. They were constantly winning the ball back in the final third, and most of the goals sort of come from that too. And yeah, and I think a standout for me was Rosa Kafaji. She looked really good. She looked lively. She is that kind of a player. She likes playing with a lot of confidence, with a lot of flair, and that goal was absolutely audacious. It was a beautiful finish, and I hope she gets more minutes at Brighton because she is a very very exciting player to watch. So she gets her minutes at Brighton, goes back to Arsenal, and she can really slot into, I don't know, wing midfield wherever they want her. But yeah, I think West Ham will be disappointed. Now they're at the bottom of the table, three losses in three games. And Brighton are finally not off the mark because they did get 1 point against Villa, but the win will probably do a lot for their confidence as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And West Ham, I think, will take some respite in the fact that the League Cup is up next, so they'll have time to figure themselves out in the WSL. So that's
Hmm.
good. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, to come back to Spurs, so, I did check what their next fixtures were, and in the league we'll play Leicester in like a while. But before that, we have a wonderful League Cup game against Aston Villa,
Right.
and so we can say bye bye to the League Cup early. That's nice. Always nice to
What?
hear.
Back your team, man. I feel like you can beat Villa. What are you saying?
Oh, I really hope so. I mean, Villa, and they haven't played this week, obviously for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
I have no faith. I After this City game, I mean, let's just fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. If you all have any thoughts on the winning of the Ballon d'Or, please put some thoughts down about Marta being 12th, which is a crime in my opinion. If you have any thoughts about Matt Beard, if you have thoughts about how Chelsea are looking a little vulnerable, which I think I have thoughts about, please put it in the comments. In the next episode, we'll do a preview of the CL draw, as well as cover the games for next weekend. So make sure you tune in for that. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button and subscribe to All About the W for more WSL content every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.